Good morning, everyone. Welcome into this week's edition of Morning Edition. Here we go. We've got Annie Satowski, Ted Phaeton, Kevin Pinto, Jason Harper here. Julian is not with us today, working on some special assignments. We are excited because the game, big game, the one is coming up in a couple of days. We're talking this year's Super Bowl between the New England Patriots and the Seattle Seahawks. How do you guys feel about the game?
I'm excited. I'm always excited for the Super Bowl. I think it's hard working on mornings because it's always, and we're on the East Coast, so it always goes so late. So I'm looking forward to making it to halftime. I'm excited to see the Bad Bunny halftime show. I think that should be pretty awesome. But I don't care about either of these teams. I'm just going to throw it out there. So this creates the opportunity for us to say, okay, I need to root for someone. I can't just like blatantly watch football. That's not how it goes. So I am going to go with the Patriots because we have Drake May as their quarterback who has ties to Charlotte. Of course, he went to Myers Park and then he played at UNC Charlotte, or not UNC Charlotte, UNC Chapel Hill. Excuse me. Go Heels for that's what they say. I'm rooting for the Patriots. So I'm always excited, and obviously the food. It's the main event.
We're going to talk about that a little bit, Americas. I think we're all rooting for that one to win.
All the wings.
All the wings.
Yeah.
I'm not a wing. We don't order wings. Wing. I know.
What?
I literally went to a Super Bowl party at your house.
Someone else brought wings. I didn't.
I mean, we brought the wings.
She's like, I saw them there. Wait, I brought them there.
I got them. Okay.
We're just like pizza and like chilling. I don't know. I just consider it another weekend. I don't make a whole party thing out of it. Someone always brings like creme brulee somehow. I don't know how that's happened.
That was Will Lewis.
Yeah, Will Lewis.
Will Lewis brought creme brulee with a little
Super
torch.
Bowl party?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
yeah. It was
that's next.
Jack Anderson does it too.
Party.
If you want creme brulee,
He's a Seattle guy. Yeah, he's a big Seattle
that's
guy.
right. Which is another reason I probably wouldn't invite him this year. Because I don't want.
He's going to be all Seahawks.
Really into it.
Yeah.
I'm rooting for Seahawks.
Okay.
I like
for Seahawks.
I like Sam Darnold. I like the team. I think
who has a Charlotte connection.
Yeah, that's
Interestingly
right.
enough, both quarterbacks do.
Yes.
He was here with the Panthers.
Why is it always that, like the Panthers QB cast-offs end up being very successful?
Motivated.
Yeah, I guess. But Sam Darnold, good for him. He's a good guy, and he kind of rode, second string for such a long time and then got some starts here and there.
Except Cam Newton. He went to the Patriots and it didn't really work out.
Well,
no, but he was
fine because he was successful here.
True.
That's exactly right. There's going to be a team that you settle in with and you're successful. If you've already used up all those chips with one team, I can't promise what's going to happen when you go to the next one.
The only one that did that was Tom Brady.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
He's an outlier.
I guess that's true.
Yeah,
I will say I hated on Tom Brady until he did it with the Tampa Bay.
Yeah, I don't mind Tampa Bay either.
Fine.
I was a Dolphins fan. I still am a Dolphins fan, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a Giants fan. It's a rough time these days. But anyways, we won't get into that, I guess. But
that's a whole other tangent.
I'm all about the Seahawks. I think, again, they have a good squad. Sam Darnold has, the last 2 seasons, the most winningest quarterback. So
that's crazy.
Go figure. Even with Minnesota. Yeah, so it's his revenge, I feel like. And hopefully he sticks landed.
Any projections? Like score? Seahawks.
Okay.
I'm struggling. Like I could not be more on the fence on these teams. Like the only reason I would go for the Patriots is because of Drake May. But there's a part of me that's like, it's one of those where I don't want him to win again, that team again. But I would for his sake. I would want him to win.
Yeah.
I know it is.
Like it's not like those Patriots that everyone was like, okay, let's move on.
You're right. Listen, I feel like that trophy cabinet is full, and Seattle might need one for right now. So there's a part of me that wants to see that, but I'm so in for the food and commercials.
Yep. Okay.
I want an entertaining game too.
Yeah, you're right. I want it. I don't want it to be a blowout.
No, I don't want 3 to 6.
Game like a good, not a snooze fest. But I'm just looking forward to a good game. With little ones, it's kind of hard to like do a lot of stuff later on in the day. And so everyone in our neighborhood, we all have kids under 2. So that being completely acknowledged, they said, hey, we're going to have people over. Totally get if you can't come, but we're having people over. Yeah. So
we're only going to last for the first quarter.
Well,
but
they'll be fine. I mean, they're going to have people who don't have kids over, I think. So it's like an actual party, and they invited everyone with kids to come through. They're going to be in bed. So maybe we'll pop in over that. I don't know if I'm going to make anything. I feel like I should if I go, but I don't know if we're going. So whatever. We're making smoked queso at our house. And I may or may not just keep that for myself.
I had never heard of that till you described it to me yesterday.
It's so
but I would
good.
think once you have been spoiled and gone to the bougie level of smoked queso, anything less than that is just like,
No,
Charity.
I mean, I'm an equal opportunity queso eater. Like, I still get the stuff.
It doesn't know.
Okay, so my husband makes this. It's really, really good. It's chorizo. I think there's like some kind of sausage, like the kind that like andouille. I think that you cut. You cook that with I think onions and peppers and seasoning, like on the stove, and then you put that in an aluminum tin, right? That's disposable, and then you put Velveeta and a bunch of other cheeses. This is not my domain. I
just hang on, Ted. Keep listening.
And then you put that in the smoker for a couple hours. And it is like, when I am not embarrassed about this, I scoop it out and put it in a bowl, like my own personal bowl, and I just eat it as a meal. So I just take the tortilla chips, and that people are like, "You want any lunch?" No, I'm good.
Crying, man.
What do you want? What do you want for dinner? Queso. It's got protein in it.
It's so beautiful.
If anyone wins the Vince
really good.
Lombardi Trophy, I think it's the smoked queso.
Okay. You know what I'm going to do? It makes so much, and I would say it's hard to get through it all.
You're gonna bring
It's
us some?
not. I will bring some smoked queso because
Play with me.
There you go.
I specifically requested it, and my husband said whatever you want. So
Whoa.
putting it on
in the
TV,
forecast.
You get that?
It's on digital record that
Yep.
you're making smoked queso, and I am going to try my best to save some for everyone
man.
else.
Try our best. Number
We-
9. We're not getting.
We heard today from a live reporter out at Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara, California. She was going through all the menu of the things that are going to be there at the Super Bowl, and there's a $180 beef shank that's called Thor's hammer.
Oh yeah.
But it's got the bone attached to it, and like, because when I think Super Bowl and walking around a stadium, I want a tomahawk steak.
Yeah, I want to be like
Whatever
Fred
it is.
Flintstone. I want the whole piece of meat. So yeah.
But they had dim sum on there. They were trying to really tie in the San Francisco culture, so they had like a martini called the Chinatown Martini, and the
Dungeness crab.
The fog of some. I think they were trying to play off of both teams too, because the crab from New England.
You know what? I didn't.
And there were some
That's
things from
so true.
Seattle as well.
That's exactly what they were doing.
I
Yeah.
don't know if there's much crabbing in San Francisco. There's got to be.
I don't know.
I mean, the water's right there, but
It's right there.
It is right. It is right
You can
there.
touch it. They've got- So yeah, I think food's going to be a big deal there. They planned that menu for 2.5 years.
wow.
Mm-hmm.
Man,
deal.
that's
Wait, 2.5 years. We didn't know the Super Bowl was set up.
I think that they know,
I think they already
just
know
don't
where it's going to be.
They know where it's
so,
gonna
Yeah.
be.
Okay.
but we don't
That-
know.
Right.
They know, but we don't
That's
know.
behind the scenes.
That's
yeah.
right.
Oh man. Well, you better go to the game hungry, and you better go to the game with a loaded wallet.
That's it.
So
Okay.
All right. Well, I'll toss the break. Hey,
do it, Kevin.
we're gonna go to break.
Come on.
And we'll be right back with more Morning Edition.
Welcome back, everyone, into Morning Edition. All right, so we brought in a special guest because there was an interesting topic that came up this week. You may not know, you may not have this on your calendars. It is National Tinnitus Awareness Week.
We finally made it.
Did you hear me? Did you hear me, Kevin?
No.
Okay, I just want to make sure. So we wanted to bring in a specialist, right, to help us understand what tinnitus is. A lot of people out there suffer from it. So we brought in Sharon Klein. Sharon, good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome in.
Thank you.
Sharon is a nationally board-certified hearing instrument specialist with Beltone and is here in the Charlotte area. So thank you for joining us. Tinnitus. My dad was an Air Force pilot and then a corporate pilot for many years. He suffers from hearing loss and tinnitus. So I have grown up hearing things from him about it. But for the general public, what is tinnitus?
Yeah, tinnitus is just a perception of sound that is not really there. So it can be hissing, it can be crickets, it can be buzzing. I've even had patients tell me that they hear music in their ears.
That doesn't sound so bad. I mean, comparatively,
It could be worse.
Yeah.
it depends what kind of music. That's true. Oh my gosh, if it was rock metal or something
metal
you couldn't
level
stand,
stuff.
oh, that would be awful. But is it all the time?
Sometimes it is all the time. And typically when it's quiet, it tends to get worse. People recognize it more because there's no other sound in the environment making up for it. So it's really the brain's way of putting sound where it's missing sound,
Oh, okay.
typically due to hearing loss.
Do we know what causes tinnitus, or what would lead to it?
Yeah, so there are a lot of different things. So one of them, aging, can perhaps, add that. We have loud music. Some medications can cause it as well. And it is typically related to loss of hearing. So the nerves, when they're damaged, again, that typically leads to the brain making sound up that it's missing.
Mm.
There have been times that I remember a couple years ago, and this is the advancement of technology through like a smartwatch, where my wife and I were at a restaurant. There was live music when we walked in, and we stood near this live band for longer than we had planned. Didn't have hearing protection. Again, we didn't know music was going to be there. And my Apple Watch kept going off saying loud environment, loud environment. I did nothing but look at it and dismiss it. When we left an hour and a half or so later, and through the next day, my ears were ringing, almost painful, and it almost sounded like I was even underwater. It was the weirdest thing. And I was like, was that because of just that one moment?
Absolutely.
Is that so? If you repeat that for years and years, you're talking some permanent possible damage.
Correct. Absolutely. And so the best thing to do would be to wear hearing protection. Obviously, we don't always know we're going to be in those loud environments, so we don't have it with us. But as an example, going to a concert, where there is that loud music, absolutely can lead to tinnitus. It does not mean that it's a permanent situation. There can be temporary tinnitus.
Okay, I got to do a timeout. You're saying tinnitus. I've always said tinnitus. What is it?
Wow, you've been educated.
Either.
Is it really tomato?
Okay,
I've been calling it
Like
wrong the
Gala
whole
and Gala?
time.
You can do either one?
Exactly.
Okay.
Absolutely.
One is fancier than the other.
for you.
tinnitus.
Yeah.
I'm saying
Tinnitus.
tinnitus.
Okay, I like that. Well, you're the specialist. So no, I'm going with what you're saying.
Is there like a common industry that suffers from this more than any other job?
Not that we've come across,
Okay.
in practice. Obviously, people that have been around loud noises, truck drivers a lot of times do.
Okay.
Mechanics, people who work around those loud, machinery all the time.
Which is probably why my dad is suffering.
Exactly.
Being a pilot in plane engines his whole
Absolutely.
entire life.
Which is what I was going to bring up. My dad was a firefighter. My grandpa was a firefighter.
Yeah.
And back, especially when my grandpa was a firefighter, yeah, their hearing, they didn't care about that much. They didn't have the protection they have now.
Right.
Yeah.
And he definitely, I constantly had to repeat myself all the time
Yeah.
to him, talking to him and stuff like that. And
Right.
top of many other health issues
Yeah.
that they suffered back in the 60s and 70s of being firefighters.
Right.
But yeah, that was very common.
And it can affect, the hearing itself, like the speech understanding, because that's forefront in your brain.
Mm.
And so that really does affect then the ability to understand the conversations. And that's kind of the relationship with the hearing loss itself.
Okay. Something Jason said about live music and being a new dad. I have a baby girl and would love to go to live music or whatnot. We stay far back, but we had the little headphones for her and stuff. But at what age, how far when it comes to parents with new kids, if you want to protect them from this, so do you have any recommendations?
The noise cancellation headphones, I'm assuming that's what you're using,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, they're pretty good actually. So they'll definitely bring that decibel level down. However, I would certainly stay further back from where you are and definitely limit the timing. I wouldn't stay there, for an hour, half an hour, 20 minutes max.
Oh,
and
wow.
then step out.
Okay.
That's interesting.
Mhm.
If, other than, I guess I'm thinking of some remedies here. If you do have it, whatever severity level, you mentioned, that quiet space is where you start to hear the whatever it is you're hearing. So maybe a white noise machine helps in that moment. But what do? Can you fix it? Is it irreversible?
Yeah, it's not, you can't fix it, right?
Oh,
It's not, you can't fix it. So unless it's a temporary situation, it will go away on its own. Otherwise, the best thing would be, it's like I said, typically associated with hearing loss.
Yeah.
So, get tested. At Beltone, we offer complimentary hearing evaluations.
Yeah.
And if you have tinnitus, typically you do have hearing loss as well.
Mm.
So there are hearing aids that do have maskers in them. So we can then help to mask the tinnitus sound that someone is having with another sound. So it's not going to get rid of it.
Yeah.
It's just going to mask it and make it more comfortable for you.
So it's almost like you can go in and let's say the frequency of whatever you're hearing, whether it's a cricket sound or a buzzing or a ringing, you can almost trick and equalize that out of what you're hearing so that it doesn't drive the person crazy.
Correct.
Wow, that's insane.
Yeah, and then bring
like
better
waves?
understanding. Yeah, we can
Yeah.
do ocean waves. There are many different sounds that we can do. White noise, ocean waves, brown noise. lots of different things. So with the testing, what we'll do, we can initiate a program in that hearing aid, literally called Tinnitus Masker. And then we determine what frequency it is. And then, we go with, volumes and different sounds that are going to be more palatable for that particular individual. Because no two hearing losses are the same.
I was going to say, so somehow you can hear what they're hearing?
We can't hear what they're hearing, but we can determine the frequency. So with hearing loss, we typically would see a dip in a frequency where that would be caused. And so what we'll then do is we'll go into that frequency and put in this other noise, literally demonstrated in the office, to then see if that's better for that individual.
Is this kind of like the test where they put the headphones on, they put the beeps, and you raise your hand for when you hear it or whatnot?
Yeah.
And so speaking of which, when it comes to your clinic, how often do you see tinnitus with patients?
Yeah, well, with over 50 million Americans suffering from tinnitus, okay, it's a lot.
That is a huge number.
We see it every day in the clinic. Every day.
Are people surprised when you tell them, we think you've got this? They're like,
well, they come in and tell us.
oh, they're like, something's not right.
Yeah, they're like, I'm hearing this buzzing. I'm hearing this whatever. It's horrible. It's, they talk about it. They talk about how it's frustrating for them, how it's really affecting their quality of life. And so, that's when we go ahead, we do that test on them. It's actually a question that we ask as part of the case history when we're doing the testing. One of the first questions we ask, do you have any ringing or noises in your ears? And they'll either say yes or no. I mean, people know if they're experiencing that or not. So, that's when we go and we do that testing. And then when we're demoing the instruments, again, we can activate all that for them and see. I've had patients by just putting hearing aids in their ears, it helps to reduce the tinnitus that they're.
The losing your independence in whatever that looks like, whether it's mobility, speech, hearing, you lose some of that. Like you said, your quality of life goes down. I've noticed it even in my dad, where he gets frustrated because even with some of the hearing aids he had in years past, technology has really changed in the last 20 or 30 years, which is good. But, if all the sounds are louder and he can't distinguish one voice from another and female voices are hard and they overlap each other for him and those kind of things, it's really frustrating. He'll just turn it off. And then he has no idea what's going on in a family conversation. You can see the frustration on his face. And then we got to catch up, later with here's what was said. And I hate that for him.
Everyone's getting frustrated.
Yeah, it is. And it breaks my heart. I'm like, I hate that he's missing out on this. I'm sure the freedom maybe that comes back to people going, oh, I've been missing out on this. Or now I can hear my wife or my child or my grandchild play the violin again or whatever it is. That's got to be an amazing feeling for you.
It is. And when I first put hearing aids in someone's ears when they're suffering, whether it's tinnitus or just hearing loss, it doesn't matter. And, you put the hearing aids in their ears in the office and you see this grand smile on their face. It's really, heartwarming for me that I'm able to now help them. And really, like you were talking about the newer technology, we now have AI technology in hearing aids, and we actually have the smallest AI rechargeable hearing aid in the entire world.
Wow.
Which is pretty amazing. So,
Insane.
it is. It's
well,
great.
Listen, Sharon, thank
Can I
you.
ask one
Yeah,
more?
go.
Because I know we've been talking a lot about tinnitus. Is there any ways for someone who's listening and they don't have it, but they want to take the proper precautions? What would you recommend so we could have the longevity of our hearing?
Yeah. So when you're around loud noises, definitely wear hearing protection. That's really the main thing that you can do to help yourself. In terms of medications that can cause it, obviously you can't change that necessarily. But that, the loud music is really, those loud sounds is really the big thing. What I'm going to say is if you feel like you have a hearing loss or the tinnitus or anything like that, we offer complimentary hearing evaluations at Beltone. So all you need to do is pick up the phone and give us a call and we'll get you scheduled.
The hardest part, just finding time to make an appointment and get in there. Honestly, it sounds like it's easy from that point on. So Sharon Klein, again, nationally board certified hearing instrument specialist with Beltone. Thank you for helping us understand tinnitus, and even how to pronounce, how to say it. But thank you for what you're doing for hundreds of thousands of people in the Charlotte area trying to restore their hearing. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. We will be right back on Morning Edition.
Welcome back to Morning Edition. Can you hear me now? I'm just joking. We just switched up the seats. We have Annie back in. And today we're talking about, we saw earlier that Pizza Hut, it's still around, but they are closing 250 locations nationwide. threw me back to our childhood
Yeah.
with the salad bar, the Pizza Hut
So good.
buffet. So
Checkered
good.
tablecloth. Oh,
And then
yeah.
we started talking about nowadays in terms of fast food. Do you eat fast food, and what connotates fast food? Like, what is it? Is it like a
Like what counts?
Jersey Mike's? Is that fast food or not? Like, yeah, what counts?
That's a good one.
And when was the last time you
drive-thru?
had something?
Is that's my in my mind part of it is if it has
Maybe.
a drive-through.
Okay.
Okay,
That's
that's
not the
just
only
throwing it
condition,
out
but
there.
that definitely says it to me.
a good
Okay.
qualifier.
So I don't know. I feel like, to Ted's point about Jersey Mike's, because I love Jersey Mike's, but I don't eat fast food. Me and Ted and then our producer joked that A-Dub, who used to work on the morning show, that they needed to lock us in a room so we would eat fast food. It's just not something that I was like. I ate it as a kid, but I don't even think of it as an option when I'm hungry. It's like, what can I
Is
get?
it a health reason?
It's mostly a health thing, but
Okay.
I think that I just didn't get it enough as a kid to where it doesn't feel like it's an option to me. I
Good
don't
for
know
you,
why. Like, I
because
don't
it's an
think about it
addiction.
in my mind. I
Yeah,
do
it
love
is.
Chick-fil-A. When I do get fast food, I get
And Chick-fil-A's fast food.
It is. So it's
I agree.
anyway, we don't have enough time to go into all this, but I would say if it has a drive-through, that counts
Okay.
as fast food.
Mhm.
But also when you think about it, like, I don't think of Panera as fast food.
Correct.
There's this whole other middle
Oh,
layer of
wow.
fast casual, like Chipotle, Panera.
Oh, that's a good. Yeah, that's a
Kava,
good category.
all of that. It's called fast casual. But Panera has a drive-through, but I don't call it fast food. Is it like the content of it? Is it like it has to be kind of like fried or burgers or like nuggets or
That's how it's set up, right?
Okay.
Like
You're
if you
right.
go to a McDonald's or, I mean, even the Chick-fil-A, I believe they like prep the food and they're just whipping them out with the system.
Yeah.
Whereas like a Jersey Mike's or a Subway or
they slice it right in front of you?
they slice in front of you. Yeah. You go to a Chipotle, the food itself is prepped, but then they're building it in front of you. And so that's more of a fast casual, I would say.
Okay.
And
So
then
Subway,
restaurants, they cook it from
Fast
right.
food compared to Panera.
Or-
I consider Subway fast food. I don't know why, but I also don't consider
Oh,
Jersey Mike's.
I have
I
Sideways.
think I figured it out.
Okay.
If you go into a restaurant and sit down
Mhm.
and you're handed a menu, that's not fast food.
I would agree.
If it's anything other than
sure.
that, it's either fast casual or fast food.
That works.
okay.
That works.
I mean,
Fast casual makes sense as a different option now.
Yeah.
I
I
didn't
feel
know
like
that
there's
was
more
a
of that like
concept.
mid. I think that's literally what they call it, but it's you want something quick, but it's not. For me, it's like a little bit healthier. I mean, depending on what you put on
think
your
so, too.
Chipotle bowl, I think that fast casual can be a little bit more elevated, if we can use that. word.
No, I think you're right.
Oh, I don't know.
But I yeah, I think you're right.
It spurred
Yeah.
some conversations. But Ted, why don't you eat fast food?
Well, similar to you, health reasons. A while ago, I actually grew up eating a lot more fast food. Wendy's was my jam. The spicy nuggets, best thing.
Oh,
so good.
Come on now.
Yeah.
Wendy's.
Come on now. And then I read a book called Eat This, Not That. And it
Uh-huh.
opened up my eyes to fast food and some of the calories and
Yeah.
all the oils that things are cooked in. And then I
Makes
just
it good.
started making.
It is, but it's what makes it addictive.
Yes.
It is.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then when I lived by myself, I learned how to cook because, your boy was living on a budget. And yeah, fast food is cheap. It still is not that cheap for me where I had to go grocery shopping and
Mhm.
cook in bulk. And that's
It's
just
just mainly convenience, right? That's the main reason.
Yeah.
I'm looking
It
for
is.
health at that point. If I'm trying to think of a healthy meal, then I'll
Looking for
probably go to a
cheap
sub
stuff.
shop or something. And
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
or Chipotle.
It was also like if you're on a road trip, right? Like you're in the
yeah,
middle of
yeah.
freaking nowhere, you don't have options, so you just kind of have. But you got to eat.
Mm.
That's
Beef my thing on the road used to be beef jerky and a yoo-hoo. Disgusting. I don't even want those now.
Dangerous.
It's terrible. It's terrible. And for anyone that's also in the vehicle.
What?
But
Yeah, right.
what's interesting is a lot of people will be like, "Oh, it's cheaper," and it is to eat fast food. It is cheaper
Sometimes.
in the short term. The problem is now with social media, you can see all these health dietitians that are breaking down what's in fast food. We didn't have access really to that 20 years ago or so. So now you're seeing people pull apart literally what is in these foods and go, if you make a diet and a habit of this now, 20, 30 years from now, your expense is going to come with health care
Yeah.
and blood pressure medicine and heart disease and diabetes and all these other things. So at some point you pay for it,
That's true.
Yeah.
front end, back end
True.
with your health, whatever. But
Still like my waffle fries. It's not very often.
Chick-fil-A on point.
I'm hungry. All right. Hopefully we made you hungry. Listen, thank you for watching. Every time we're going to always have something that hopefully connects with you. We appreciate it. You can
Mostly
watch
food.
Mostly food. We're always going to come back to food. You can watch Queen City News anytime, Monday through Friday, 4 to 10, or here. Thanks for downloading. Thanks for watching. Have a great week, guys.
Queen City News Plus. Just search Queen City News on your smart TV's app store.